even cooler team right now, you got to admit, man, the Tampa Bay Lightning, holy jeez, right? The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're Stanley Cup champions for a reason, guys, you know? And I like to think that, you know, the Leafs give them one of the hardest times in the NHL. I don't know if there's a team right now in the NHL that consistently gives Tampa Bay Lightning a hard time. You know, even when they win, even when the Lightning win, it's still a tough game for them. They don't get away with an easy one against Toronto. Very rarely, you know, and that's a 2-time Cup champion. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a moral victory a little bit, you know. That's why you get those wins like against Columbus there. You know, you get a win separating your losses every time. You're looking good, man. Preferably 2-1, you know, 2 wins and a loss, 2 wins and a loss. If you can stick to some sort of average of like that, you're usually looking pretty good for the playoffs. And I think the Leafs are still looking good. You know, there was some sloppy coverage today. Yeah, I know. You know, a lot of it seemed to me like it was more like they were struggling to get back in time, right? Off the rush, right? So Tampa turns the puck around, starts rushing down towards Campbell. And it just seems like the first D was usually there to do what they had to do. The second D or second forward playing a D at that point is there to do what they have to do. It was that third guy that's always trailing behind that seems to let their forward creep into the play, thinking that they're not going to be a threat. So they give up. They stop moving the feet, you know, on the back check. I saw quite a few Leafs, I'm not even going to name names, but quite a few Leafs just kind of give up on the back check when they're that second or third man back. And then Tampa gets a guy out front. You know? It's a brutal way. It's a brutal way to give up a goal. We do it all the time in NHL 22, and everyone calls it a glitch goal. Everyone calls it soft and says that the game needs to change. Well, you saw it tonight. The Leafs did it in real life several times. That's what happens. That's why it's in the game like that. It's a real move. You know? It exists for a reason. And certainly Toronto gave up their fair chances in front of the net like that. And then you get Nylander scoring on his own net, too, for one of them at least, right? It's a tough break. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to break up that pass. It definitely would have gone to the guy in front. So he did break up the pass, but unfortunate bounce. And he puts it in against his own team, right? And if anybody can kind of get away with that right now, it's got to be William Nylander, right? Because he's doing so well for us. You got to love the guy. Really stepping up, right? I mean, keep in mind, guys, you know, we still have no Marner right now. And I know one guy can't make up a whole lineup, but Spets is out too. Those are 2 key factors to the Leafs' success, you know, for the last couple of years. And I've always said Marner's the most complete player that they have. I think Matthews is more talented overall for what he's supposed to do. But then you got Marner, who's just such an all-round good player. Defensive, offensive, you know, he can be on the power play, he can be on the penalty kill. He makes passes, but he can score. Like he's like a jack of all trades. And yeah, that might mean he's a master of none, but you want a guy like that on your team still, right? You want a Swiss Army knife guy that you can throw out and just, he understands hockey. And the Leafs are kind of missing Marner right now a little bit, I think. It shows between him and then the leadership of a guy like Spezza. You know, we could have really used them tonight. And I know Tampa's missing guys too, especially like their top scorer. I get it. And that's what I'm saying. Credit goes to Tampa for being able to pull it off, right? Tampa Bay pulled off what the Leafs were trying to pull off. So they did it better. They're champs for a reason. And I hope to see more matchups between them. I love it every time they play. And yes, Kasha, oh my goodness, he's doing a great job tonight, huh? Oh man, he had those nice goals where it's just, you know, you're in the right place at the right time and you're just quick to the puck. That puck was loose, and it's one of those moments you're screaming at your TV, being like, "Oh, it's right there!" And then he sees it, and he grabs it, puts it around a pad, and off she goes. So those were some cool goals to see for sure, you know. But if you look at the game tonight, though, like despite the success of the Lightning, right? Hey, there we go. We got a new fan. We're along for the ride too. See, I knew we'd get along, dude. I knew we'd get along. Thanks for following, man. But if you look at the game overall, okay, so Tampa had their success, but the Leafs played a better game. They dominated, well, I shouldn't say dominated, but they came ahead in a lot of the stats that matter, right? You know, they were killer on the power play. It was, 2 of 3, something like that. At least 2 power play goals for the Leafs, right? So you like to see it. They outshot Tampa for pretty much the whole game. At one point, it was like 12 of the last 13 shots had been for Toronto, and that was like in the third period. Like they were pouring it on, man. You know, they had more face-off wins. And then usually what happens is if you're getting outplayed on the one side of the puck, the other side usually gets the more hits, and Tampa definitely had the more body checks. But that's what I'm saying. It's a nice close game. against the champs. You love games like that. You love them, man. And if you lose that close, it's really not a loss. As a fan, I mean. As a team, like, you want to win those, man. Of course, right? The Leafs want to win those. And they're going to be heartbroken that they didn't, I'm sure. They're winners. They're winners at heart. They want to win. So the losses really do bother them. But as fans, I mean, we get to see a sweet game between us and the champs, right? Between us and the champs. It's just a great way to watch hockey for a night, you know? I got no problems with it whatsoever. So I'm not complaining. I'm sure the Leafs will bounce back against Chicago on Saturday, right? Ooh, you know, that's always good, an original 6 matchup. And I think Chicago's been struggling, so hopefully it can be an easier 2 points. Kind of get some confidence back, you know? And that's that. But you can't beat the champs every time. Can't beat the champs every time. You only have to beat them 4 times when it really matters most, you know? Think about it. There's only 4 times in the entire season that you have to beat the champs, right? If you're lucky enough to see those 4 times. So that's where I'm at with all that. Pretty simple wrap up tonight. I want those boys back in the lineup, but until they do, I trust the Leafs that we got to get the job done. To stand toe-to-toe with the champs. It's always looking good. So let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Again, we got some new chatters tonight, so I'm liking to see all the comments blowing up like that while I'm talking. It's always good. Feel free to have your own conversations. You don't always have to wait for mine to finish, you know? Have your own conversations in there and start calling stuff out. It's always fun. Always fun. And set off buttons and alerts and all kinds of cool stuff. And if you ever miss it, you can always just watch the clip on YouTube afterwards or whatever, right? Right? So make sure you're following along. Make sure you're subscribing or commenting or chatting. Literally, I'd rather you guys just share this with everybody. Share the stream. Let everybody know, man. Let everybody know that even though there's this Leafs fan here, this show's not about Leafs. It's about hockey, right? So if you got some stuff you want to bring to the channel about your favorite team, some discussions, like now's the time where we're going to get into it, okay? Because now I'm going to look up at that comments, the chat room there, and I want to read out what's going on and see what I'm missing around the league, all right? Right on, let's get to it. All right, you're going to watch the Jets game. Nice. The Jets, eh? The Jets. I'm going to talk about the Jets all season now. The number one whiny thing I hear from them all the time is that, oh, the Jets don't get enough coverage. Oh, nobody ever talks about the Jets. Doesn't everybody know how the Jets are doing well? Doesn't everybody know how the Jets are like going to be the newest, sickest team in the league? Well, guess what? You want that heat? I'm bringing it then. I'll talk about you all season long, but remember, when you're in the spotlight, it ain't always positive, all right? So I don't want to hear any whining now. I don't want to hear anyone calling me some sort of salty Leafs fan, all right? Because I'm tearing into your team when they suck. You wanted the heat? You wanted the attention? You're going to get it now, all right? Because I deal with it all the time. People come at me out of nowhere with really harsh stuff. I have to deal with it, so what? It's part of the fun. I enjoy being in that realm of things, right? I welcome the conflict. Let's bring it on. So, Jets fans, man, you want the attention? You're about to get a lot of it from me, all right? You're about to get a lot of it from me.